Hey there, so in this video we are going to discuss about how we can store the strings into the memory. So let's quickly get started. See, let's say we have this integer constant. For example, let's say we have this 10, which is an integer constant. Now in order to store this 10 into the memory, what we do is we create variable of integer type. Okay, so let's say int a, and then we assign this integer constant to this variable. So what happens is this 10 value gets stored inside this variable whose name is a, small a. Alright, so in this way we store integer constant. Same happens with characters, then floats, doubles. Okay, so whatever primitive data types we know, we create variables for storing them. Now this string is not a primitive data type. If you remember the data types video, we had categorized data types into three categories. The first category was primitive data type, the second category was derived data type, and the third category was user defined data type. So this string comes into the derived category, and that's why you can't directly use a variable to store them. Okay, we can't use variable like we do for integer, character, which are the primitive data types. We can't do the same for storing the strings, alright, because it is a derived data type. That's why C++ has given you two options. It has given us two options to store strings into the memory, and we have already seen one of the option in previous module. Okay, I hope you can guess it. See, we have two options to store strings into the memory. The first option is with the character arrays. We can use character arrays to store strings into the memory, and we have already seen how we can store strings using the character arrays in previous module, and in this video we are going to do revision of that. Okay, and there is one more option by which you can store strings into the memory, which is called as an string class. Okay, string class is one of the inbuilt class which is provided by C++, and in next video we are going to discuss about what is this string class, or what is this class first of all, right? So we are going to discuss about that in the next video, don't worry about that. So in this video let's discuss about the character array and how we can store the string using the character array. Let's quickly get started. See, we already know that we can declare a character array like this. Let's say char name is my array name. Okay, then you have to give opening and closing square brackets, and then you have to write is equal to, and then you have to write the string. So in this way you can initialize your character array. So name of my array is name, and then it is of type character, and I'm initializing it with this string constant. So in this way you can assign your string constant to one character array, and then this string will be stored in this character array. This is one way of storing the string into the character array. We also have another way. See, for example, I'll rename this array to name1, and let's say for this one I'll name it as name2. See, we can also do something like this. We can also pass initialize the list, okay, or we can also use initialize the list for initializing the character array. We also know this, right? So for example, you can also write something like this. But obviously no one will prefer this syntax. You can see how tedious it is. So you can see this is very tedious syntax. We are giving each and every character in the initializer list to store this string, to store the sequence of character. This syntax is not at all clean. It's not at all good to write. Alright, so that's why everyone will obviously prefer this syntax for initializing the character array, or for storing sequence of characters or string into the character array. Now there is one important thing that I want to discuss about the characters arrays with you. So let's quickly get started on that. See, if I print the size of both the character arrays, okay, the size. So let's calculate the size of the first array. So I'll write size of name1 divided by size of name1 of 0. So in this way I'll get how many number of elements are present in the array. Alright, let's do the same for name2 array as well. Let's see how many number of elements are present in name2 array. Let's compile and execute this code. So the file name is 03charArray.cpp. Let's execute this code. You can see in the first array the number of elements are 10, and in the second array the number of elements are 9. We have already seen this actually in the previous video where we had discussion on character arrays and how character arrays are kind of handled differently in C++. So you can see the difference over here. in the first case, the number of elements are coming out to be 10, and in the second case, the number of elements are coming out to be 9. Now, why this is happening? We are going to discuss this in this video. See, if you count the actual element, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if you see in the string, we actually have 9 characters. Okay, so ideally this answer is correct as compared to the first one, which is 10. All right, but actually the 10 answer is correct when it comes to the string, and I'm going to tell you why it is correct and why 9 is kind of wrong. Okay, now always remember, whenever we talk about the string, there is one special character which we need to add at the end of the string, which is very essential, and that special character is called as a null character. Okay, so whenever you want to initialize your string, or whenever you create a string and you store it in the character array, we have to make sure that whenever your string ends, the actual content of your string ends, after that you need to put this special character which is called as a null character. Okay, so in this case, after I write rushikesh, here my actual content ends. So after this content, I will need to write one more character into the memory, which is going to be /0, which is called as a null character. It is also called as a terminating character of a string. Okay, so it indicates that the string is ending over here. Okay, now always remember, whenever you initialize the character array using the initializer list, in that case only you need to write this character explicitly. Whenever you initialize a character array using this syntax with a string constant, the /0 character will be written automatically by the compiler. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, so always remember, whenever you initialize your character array with a string constant, the /0 character will be added by the compiler. You don't need to worry about it. But whenever you initialize your character array with initializer list, then in that case, as a programmer, you need to take care of adding this /0 character in the end. Alright, so now if I will compile and execute this code once again, you can see for both the things, or for both the arrays name1 and name2, the size is coming out to be same, which is 10 and 10. So in this case, you can see this is like an ideal scenario where both the character arrays have the same number of elements. Alright, so I hope you are clear with this /0 character, and we need to add this /0 character whenever we use initializer list. Now obviously you might be having this question in your mind, that why we need to add this /0 character in the end of the string whenever the characters of our strings are over. Why we need to add this special character? So I'm going to answer this question. See, for example, I give size to this array. Okay, let's say I give size to this array which is 20. Okay, but if you see actually, and I'll remove this /0 character. Now the size of the array is 20. So you imagine that we are going to get 20 places for storing our elements. Alright, but the actual element that we are passing in the initializer list are only 9. Okay, so our actual string content is only getting stored in first 9 places, and the remaining 11 places are kind of empty. Okay, now whenever I say remaining 11 places are empty, so they are going to get some garbage values. Okay, they're going to have some garbage value. So how the compiler is going to know, or how the compiler is going to understand that till what point your actual content is present and what values are kind of garbage values? So it's very difficult for the compiler to understand, and that's the reason you need to add this special character which will tell the compiler that this is end of the string. Okay, I hope you are very clear with this point. See, this /0 character, whenever you add /0 character at the end of your string, it tells the compiler that my actual content ends over here, and whatever is present after this is not something which I have placed. Okay, it can be something garbage or it can be something random. My string ends over here. So /0 indicates the end of the string. So I hope you are clear with this point, and that's why I always remember, whenever you give size to the array, size to the character array, and whenever the size is greater than the elements present in the initializer list, I have told you this before, the remaining elements in the array gets initialized to /0. Okay, and I hope now you are clear with why it happens. Okay, because the original elements get stored initially, and then the other elements, other remaining elements, get stored with /0. So that's how the compiler understands that the string actual content ends at this point, and whatever places where /0 is present is not the actual content. It indicates the end of the string. Okay, but whenever you don't give the size, in that case what is going to happen, whatever elements you are passing in the initializer list, only those elements or only for those elements the size will be allocated. So in this case the array will be allocated only for 9 elements, and that's why /0 character is not going to be added by the compiler. And that's the reason whenever you don't give size and whenever you give initializer list, you have to add this /0 character explicitly. Okay, always remember all the string operations rely on this /0 character to understand where your string ends. That's why this character is very essential. So I hope you are clear with how to use character arrays for storing the string. I hope you are clear with this /0 special character that we have in C++. In the next video, we are going to discuss about the string class that is present or that is a new addition in C++. So see you in the next video.